Post-apocalyptic lessons. A hacker from Germany posted information supposedly from the Vatican servers about an antediluvian civilization. About a month ago, Ralph Bastet, a hacker from Germany, announced that he had hacked into the Vatican servers with secret information about previous civilizations and posted a part of the text allegedly dedicated to ancient mankind. The post hung on the internet for about only 3 days, after which Bastet deleted his account. This news sparked controversy among the users, and some believed the content, others, of course, denied the content. 30,000 years ago, there was a state with a high level of development, even exceeding our current technologies and knowledge. However, despite this outstanding progress, the inhabitants were subjected to vices such as greed, pride, and cruelty. The geneticists of this civilization created people for physical work, endowing them with strength. Several centuries passed, and the slaves were considered too stupid. So then the so-called evolutionary genes were laid in their genome, allowing them to develop a higher intellectual degree, and thanks to this, people were able to solve complex problems and also perform a much wider range of responsibilities. And along with this, the slaves had thoughts of getting out of their subordination. An uprising was being prepared, but it was crushed. Most of the people were expelled from the cities. In the Bible, these events are described as expulsion from paradise, he claims. Nevertheless, the system of relations between the masters and slaves operated for about 6,000 to 8,000 years, after which a large-scale conflict began between the representatives of the mysterious civilization. Various types of weapons were used, including climactic, photon, temporal, annihilation, and others. The catastrophe covered most of the entire Earth, and the survivors are about 10 to 15% of the slaves and a few dozen masters, he claims. When realizing that their civilization had collapsed, people were given some knowledge in the field of astronomy, astrology, metallurgy, mathematics, alchemy, and others. Myths about the coming of the gods and the formation of culture and civilization among people have been preserved. It happened about 12 to 15,000 years ago. A few centuries later, people realized that these gods were pushing them to a new civil strife and wars, and as a result, the last representatives of the highly developed civilization were killed by their courtiers. The age of development has come, and all over the world, people began to form cities and communities, and finally become rulers of the earth. The first 100 generations of people remembered the Great War and the consequences. Therefore, they tried to build and not destroy. Small conflicts ended through a collegial decision. The flourishing of human civilization has come, but the old began to be forgotten while the newest generation had huge ambitions. People started fighting again. Moreover, sometimes the most absurd things became the reasons for wars. The refusal of the ruler's daughter to marry the son of another, like a Romeo and Juliet type of thing, or of the disease of cattle and grain, were attributed to the machinations of neighbors. Humanity was again on the verge of a full-scale war, but the religions and confessions appeared. This made it possible to become more humble and to abandon hostilities. However, not for long. As is known from relatively recent history, it was religions that caused major battles in the dawn of our era. At this point, the story was interrupted. In general, and to many of us, we are not the first humanity on this planet. There were other advanced civilizations as well, so we would not be surprised if everything described above is indeed a true story. And by the way, which is significant, it repeats itself. People are fighting again, preferring to resolve issues with weapons. Several thousand years later, we'll pass and the world's elite will make a leap in genetics, creating the first slave clones, and then the Ouroboros circle of transmutation will repeat itself all over again. Some historians believe in the cyclical nature of history and that mankind has 3 ways of civilization development. First, the military, the road to nowhere, that is. Apparently, we're going towards this road, this direction now, it seems, unfortunately. Second, the development of a space industry, and as soon as possible, the settlement of other planets and satellites. In this case, humanity will have a small chance of continuing to exist regardless of events on Earth. And the third way, the way of unity and goodness. If people give up all weapons and the main value is life and health of each one of us, regardless of ethnicity, worldview, and religion, then perhaps humanity will live much longer than, say, in the first case scenario. At the same time, interlocutors indicated a very clear time frame, give humanity a life expectancy of 15 to 20,000 years. So perhaps it's not too late to change the vector of development so that it does work out, and not as with previous civilizations that faded out. Our common home is like a beehive, or anyone think of a dunghill for past and present and possibly future species or generations. Those who were born, developed here, left their habitat, conquering in boundless expanses, protect future generations, giving them the opportunity to rise. Perhaps that's why we still exist and we are not in the Stone Age, in the radiation blizzard of nuclear war. And this is by Solask on Collective Spark. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.